Whiskey friends, far and wide, we are live. What's up, y'all? Happy Tasty Tuesday. Excuse me. I'm Eric, your humble malt muser, beaming the signal of whiskey deliciousness from the second city of the United States, Chicago, Illinois, my hometown. Like, subscribe, drop a comment, say hello, let me know where you're at. Would love to give you a shout out. We got a good, fun, happy hour show lined up for tonight. We're going to be talking about a whiskey that, well, comes from a distillery that I am not a huge fan of. So that'll be fun. I got a sample lined up. We got all sorts of other fun stuff to chat about. So why don't we not waste any more time and get right into it. Starting things off tonight with a little dram of the Foodquig Copper Pot. This is a Canadian whiskey. Really solid stuff. Relatively inexpensive. I think I have a review posted somewhere back in the annals of Malt Muser whiskey reviews. Go check it out at your leisure if you're interested. But let me say hello to the folks who have showed up early, who are getting things warmed up and started at the virtual bar. Let's not waste any more time. Let's give them shout outs. Here we go. First in the door here tonight, we got Mr. Gerbic in Jupiter, Florida, saying hello, good whiskey folks. Gerbic, great to see you, sir. The suburbs of Atlanta, Georgia, where his baseball team just took through 2 of 3 from my beloved Brewers. It's IC86. How are you, sir? Good to have you in the house. Hey, Paris, France. We're beaming the signal across the ocean. It's Greg's Whiskey Guide. Great to see you, Greg. Long time no see. Just a quick note to say hello. Sorry not able to make it for a long time now. Mondays and Tuesdays are not the best days for me to stay late. Well, that's all right, Greg. I'll raise this glass to you anyways, man. Sure. It's good to see you. Good to have you in the house. As I work on site. So it's hard for me to wake up the next day, and I'll catch up the live show ASAP. Wish you have a good night. Cheers. Yeah, back at you, Greg. Great to see you, man. Thank you for stopping in with the quick hello. He's a big Talisker fan. I had my suspicions about that, Greg. Well, we can discuss that more later. East Texas, somewhere near the Louisiana-Texas border, it's our good friend Daniel H. What up, man? Starting it off with some Nika WFTB. Whiskey from the barrel. That is an excellent Nika whiskey. That's an excellent whiskey in general. Quite good at the Japanese whiskey, and it comes in at a decent price too, man. Enjoy that. From the Sun Valley out in the Arizona desert, it's our boy Leo. What up, Leo? Good to see you, man. Great to have you in the house. Some Patreons up here in the top of the chat. Good to see it. Great. Glad you guys can join. London. What's good in old London town? James Morgan. Cheers and the heads up, Daniel H. Great to see you, man. At 40 Creek is a caramel bomb from what I recall. You are correct, sir. It is very much a caramel bomb. I'm quite surprised by that. It's decent stuff. If you like a nice, thick, good whiskey, man. I mean, the price on this is good. It's 43%. I don't think there's an age statement, but yeah, it's full-bodied, full-balanced, full flavor for sure. It's not going to blow you away with its complexity, but it's legit. Dig it. I hope there's not too much background noise. I have to run a fan. It is balmy hot here in Chicago, Illinois. It is 91 degrees today. I don't know what happened. Midwest wind. Some springs are just crazy. Ontario's in the house. Mr. White. What's going on, Mr. White? Peter White, what's good? Always glad to have you here. Quad Cities. He's probably dealing with the heat too. Chris, just on the other side of the state for me. How are you, man? Great to see you. Cool. We got 8 folks in the house already, which is great. Few small housekeeping things before we get into our featured whiskey tonight. So first and foremost, for the folks on Patreon, the whiskey Patreon exclusive whiskey review has dropped. It should be in your inbox. Take a look at that. It is Springbank local barley, 9 years old. That was a fun review to do, so I hope you guys can take a look at that and let me know what you think. Whiskey review dropping this Friday. It's a battle of the Aaron 10s, the old Aaron 10 versus the new Aaron 10. That will drop Friday here on the old YouTube, so keep an eye out for that. That was fun. And I definitely picked up some differences. Wait and see which one I thought was the winner there. What else is going on? 96 today down in Texas. Whew. That's intense. Ooh, beautiful. Yeah, that's winning right there. We should all go over to Peter White's house. All right. Let's get into our featured whiskey tonight. Our featured whiskey is from a distillery that, if you have been a fan of the show, you will not hear me talk about much. And when I do talk about it, it's usually briefly in passing and not in the highest regard. That distillery is, as it says on the bottom, Talisker. What we have to look at here tonight is the Talisker Distillers Edition. I'm going to get this poured in the glass. We'll talk a bit about it. I would love to hear a prompt for y'all to kick off the chat with. What distilleries, and I'm not saying ones that you like a little. What distilleries are you just not a huge fan of, but have revisited from time to time and maybe found one dram or two that you enjoyed? But what are those big name distilleries that you really aren't stocking your shelf with? I'd love to hear about it. Talisker is one of them for me. This is what the bottle looks like. So, as I mentioned, this is called the Distillers Edition. So the Distillers Edition is a line from all of the whiskey distilleries. Well, not all, but most of the whiskey distilleries owned by Diageo. Basically, they take the classic malt expression, the kind of core range expression from all their distilleries, and then they put it into a second finishing, bottle it as the Distillers Edition. So, for example, you can find yourself a Lagavulin 16, which has been finished in Pedro Jimenez. You can find yourself I think, Kleinleash. What is the finish on the Kleinleash again? Muscatel? I'm not actually quite sure. Glenkinchie does one, I think, with a Fino or Amontillado. Kalila does one. Oban does one. They all have different finishes. And I would say and maybe folks in the chat can tell me what they think of this, I would say it's a varying degree of excitement people have about these Distillers Editions. I think some are just better than others. The one in particular that we're looking at today, the Talisker, this has been matured in Amoroso cask wood. So Amoroso is a kind of really full-bodied, heavy sherry, kind of in the Oloroso style, probably a little bit heavier, a little bit nuttier, dark in color. So really what you're getting here is you don't see a lot of Amoroso finished whiskeys, at least not that I can recall. So this is kind of a unique Talisker. And basically what they've done here is take their 10-year-old Talisker. They bottle it, which I do commend them for, at 45.8% ABV. Chill filtered, probably fake color added. I can almost guarantee it. This expression in particular is the 2018 version, so from a couple of years ago, but they do these annually. So you can find yourself at 2019, find yourself at 2021, 22 will probably be out soon if it's not out already. I do like the label. They give you a pretty nice amount of information on it. Talisker is an islands whiskey. You guys probably know all about that. They're kind of known for they brand themselves as being very maritime influenced. They are a little bit peated. You get a bit of a peppery saltiness. I personally, when it comes to younger Taliskers, am not a real big fan. I don't think Talisker 10 is very good. I don't think the Storm or the Dark Storm, the Port Rouge has never really done anything for me. Mostly because I find them too peppery. It's just not, it doesn't cater to my palate very well. But many years back, I did get a bottle of this. In fact, this was the second Talisker that I had, and I quite liked it. So I just cracked this a while back, and this will be the first dram this I've had in a while, and I'm curious to revisit it. I didn't find that their sherried expression was really all that good, but this one, we'll give it a try. So I'm gonna let that get a little oxygen. Let me catch up on the chat. Looks like we got some good comments coming in. I still like a few things from Glenmorangie. Quinto Rubin and the 18-year. Okay. Peter White never warmed up to Glenmorangie. I've only had 2 or 3. I miss the old Polys, the 21 and the 17. Yeah. Those were good drams for sure. Leo, I've gone through the Glengoyne standard offerings. Decent, but I'm not in a hurry to replace them, especially when there's Glenallachie, Glendronach. I couldn't agree with you more. Glengoyne I've found to be really kind of hit or miss. I do like their style. They have kind of a softer style. It's a little bit of a thinner whiskey. I do enjoy their signature profile, but I will tell you that when it comes to their core range whiskeys, I think there's big gaps between them. I did not like their 10-year-old much at all. Their 12 I thought was pretty damn good. Their 15 I actually really liked, which is unfortunately discontinued. I thought their 18 missed the mark. The 21 is kind of middling for the price. The 25 is great, but it's very expensive. It's strange how that works. I mean, they are one of those distilleries that I'm much like you. I'm not running out to get my hands on the latest Glengoyne release per se. And Talisker, I would put a step below that in terms of my interest in them. So I'm certainly not running out to get any of the new Taliskers. Anyway, so as I mentioned, it's Amoroso, which is, I think it's exclusive to a certain area of Spain, Maestro Sierra, something like that. Yeah. So I expect it to be similar to the Talisker Dark Storm, which is kind of a double-barreled one. Highland Park started to get a bit boring. Yeah. There's another Highland Park coming out, too, I just saw recently. San Francisco's in the house. What's up, Gary? How are you, sir? Good to see you. All right. So here we go. Talisker, the Distillers Edition. This is the 2018 expression. So this is what the color looks like. Again, I assume this is a fake color just by how, that orange hue to it. I don't know. But I also know since they have this Amoroso in it, it's supposed to give it some good flavor. So the interesting thing about this is, again, will it mask some of the more unpleasant, unsavory characteristics of the Talisker distillate that I am just not a fan of? Time will tell. Here we go. On the nose. So the first thing I'm asking myself, would I have known this was a Talisker? Not immediately. It has some of that sharpness. There's a bit of a sharpness to the nose. It's bordering on alcohol. It has some of that peppery, slightly sweet. But there is kind of a... I don't know what kind of fruit this is. It's kind of like a bourbon sherry note of caramely kind of ripe, maybe raisin or something a little bit sweeter. So you're definitely getting some fruit in it, but nothing really fresh. This does smell like an older whiskey than I know it's going to drink like because it is only 10 years old. A little vanilla. So this is kind of falling in the sweet, maybe spicy, maybe savory kind of side of things. It's not delicate in any real way. Okay. All in all, it smells like a lightly peated sherry influenced whiskey, but it's not a very coherent or cohesive nose. I find it's kind of, I don't know, it's not working super well on the nose. I'm trying not to be too hard on it because, I'm not super kind to Taliskers always. But anyways, it's fine. Here we go. Happy Tasty Tuesday, y'all. Talisker Distillers Edition. Let's give it a taste. Cilantro. Very heavy, rich mouthfeel. Surprisingly so. The Amoroso definitely is showing its bona fides on the palate. So here we go. Oily. We kind of have a sweet. This is mostly in the sweet range. A lot more happening here on the palate than there was on the nose. Caramel, burnt brown sugar, definitely. The fruit notes kind of like plum. Again, like this kind of overripe plum thing. Maybe little hints of like blackberry. Slight oak, and then as it goes into the finish, a little bit of peppermint. The peppery note, the normal Talisker peppery note is there. A lot fresher, youthful, you can tell. Kind of a creamy mouthfeel, kind of like a berry vanilla yogurt type thing. Sweet, maybe a bit more dark oak cast coming through way on the back end. Hints of leather. Strange whiskey. It's an interesting one. This is not the only like dark sherried matured Talisker, and for some reason I think they think these two things work really well together. I kind of like it. I'm going to do one more neat sip here before you get to water. Let me know in the chat, has anybody had this before? I would be curious what your thoughts are. That color is most certainly fake. Wow. Oaky. Sweet. Yes. The transition into the finish on the mid palate is quite abrupt. What you really get is this very heavy, caramely, dark fruit. And then suddenly you just get snapped with this very sharp, heavy pepper note, a little bit of salt. And then it kind of harmoniously takes you into this. The nose was the least interesting thing about this whiskey. I actually am finding this to be pretty tasty. As far as like the peat smokiness, not a lot to be found here. It's more peppery and punchy, which could be in part from the youth and just the Talisker distillate, than what you're really getting off of any type of peat. Not much to be found here, maybe just slight amounts. That Amoroso has worked its way over that. All right. I'm going to put some water on this. But I'll be completely honest with you guys. As far as this is similar to a whiskey, to the experience I had way back when, and then when I had only had one Talisker and thought to myself, wow, this is a quite nice dram. Since then, I've had many more. I've had the 18. I've had the 8-year-old from a couple years back. I had the 15. I've had the whatever that sherried one was. I've had, I think there was another Talisker in there somewhere. I've had more Taliskers. What do you want me to say? There's more Taliskers. This, I'm digging. I'm digging this. I do like sherry and peat, and like I said, while there's not a lot of peat, the punchiness is kind of giving me that vibe. The nose, Winston, chill out. The nose has gotten a bit more gingerbread, more spice, more dry spices. Come here, man. Let's see what Winston the Whiskey Cat thinks about the Talisker Distillers edition. Niet. No for the Russian Blue says niet. All right, man. There's a really nice, almost like cedar oak thing going on here. Wow. Juicy. Oh. I can't believe I'm saying this, but the pepper note is actually working really well with this. I think for me, well, I still find Talisker to be too peppery. I think the thing that makes this work more for me than their other stuff is really the fact that there's so much richness coming in on the delivery of it that it kind of meets that peppery note. I find that like the Talisker Storm or the 10 tend to be more of a medium bodied whiskey, and then you get this intense peppery thing, which just kind of throws it off for me. This is a bit more harmonious, which I was surprised because the nose didn't strike me as that. Bottle of this in the US can run you anywhere from like $70 to $100. I would not pay more than $80 for a bottle of this. I would need maybe pay $75 for it. But I have to say, I am happily surprised. I think this is a pretty damn good whiskey, and maybe one of the better of the Distillers editions. I'd love to hear in the chat for folks who are. What's up, man? Yeah, I know it's hot today. He's not been happy. I'd love to hear for folks who've maybe enjoyed these Distillers editions. Which ones are your favorites? I was always partial to the Lagavulin with the PX finish. I don't think it's better than the regular 16. But then there's one. What is the one with the Amontillado? That's the Kalila? I think that one was pretty solid, if I'm not mistaken. No, that's the Muscatel, right? Yeah, that's the Muscatel. Anyways, Talisker Distillers edition, y'all. Am I wrong? Let me catch up on the chat here. Gary, yeah, just never been my jam, man. I don't know. Something has just never quite done it for me with Talisker. It's acrid. It's too peppery with not enough else. Yeah, he's hot and sleepy over there. Y'all we're gonna have a sleepy Winston the Whiskey Cat here. But in general, I'm enjoying it for the most. Crassus is in the house. I had the 2019 edition and really liked it. It was high on my reachability scale. Great, yeah. This is a good whiskey. Has anybody had the GOT Talisker? I did. I did a tasting sample. I did not find it all that anything to write home about personally. I got to throw a prelim score on this. I think I'm a 3.5 on this. I think this is a significantly above average whiskey. And I think it's reminding me of the 16-year-old Highland Park Rioja cask, the twisted one, in some ways. Well, I think that one has a bit more going for it. You know what? 3.25. This is above average, not by a ton, but it's definitely worth trying and getting a bottle if you like it. I'm completely satisfied with a 3.25 on this. Maybe reaching for a 3.5. So on a 100-point scale, we're looking in that like 84, give or take. I can't be that exact with the whiskey. I have it 3 times, it'll taste different 3 times. But I'm comfortable in that kind of 84 range. I think that's a fair score. 84 would be a 3.5, 3.25 range. Seems totally fair. I think this is one of the better ones that I've had of the Distillers editions. I'll tell you that. The Oban, which maybe is the Amontillado, that one I found to be lacking. This keeps getting better, and again, it brings a new element and dimension to this Talisker 10, which I think is just far superior. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm rambling. Let me keep going. So Crassus, yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's good to hear. Mike Meyer, what up, man? Good to see you, Mike. It's been a minute. Cheers back at you. And there's one of our the fearsome twosome out there in Los Angeles, the city of angels. It's James Chang. James, great to see you, man. Always good to have you in the house. Peter White's got some samples of Ben Romick peach sherry cask. So I'll have to pour that. That is you're talking about the contrast peat smoke. That is a fantastic whiskey. I will have a review of that soon. I would not be surprised if that makes the top in my top whiskeys of the year. I loved it. I finished the 2003 Distillers release a few years ago and remember really liking it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this one, just for folks who just joined, this is 2018. Yeah, I'm sure there are. I liked the Talisker 18. It's the younger Taliskers that just don't do it for me. And again, it's a personal preference. I'm not I don't think the distillery is bad per se. Although it'd be really nice if they stopped putting so much color into chill filtering their whiskey. But what can you do? I like this. Muse on this for a second. This is a whiskey you have with a steak or a pulled pork sandwich. This is a whiskey that you have by a campfire on a colder night. It's an after meal whiskey that has a little punch that makes you want to drink more. It's very, very drinkable. Despite the near 46% ABV, the intense peat, well, not peat, the spice. I dig it. Daniel, man, thank you so much. $10 super chat from Daniel. I appreciate you, man. It is festival season. Oh, yeah. Carchis. You know I'm going to be all over that Carchis the minute I get my hands on it, man. The Lefroy Carchis this year, for folks who don't know, is a warehouse. It's a release from a specific warehouse, barrels from a specific warehouse. I think it's the one closest to the sea. Warehouse B? I don't know. You'll know when you see it, which is a super rad concept. I like how they're getting away from the finishes for a while. Maybe they're just going with some straight bourbon cask Lefroy, but special bottle. If you were a fan of the Lefroy 10 cask strength, I am assuming this Carchis is going to be right up our alley, so I'm looking forward to it. Appreciate you, Daniel. Thank you so very much. So Talisker is another one that shines in single cask form. Yeah, I can imagine. I'd love to give that a try sometime. Moonson is sleeping on the job guarding the Carchis is back there, for example. If you haven't noticed. Dude's tapped out. Talisker 15 Diageo 2019 is winner. Yeah, I didn't have the 19. I had the other one. It was okay. I didn't love it though. Yeah, it sure is, man. That sherry cask one is fantastic stuff. I just saw there's that new PX Octave Bunnahabhain. Yeah, I'm gonna have to keep it out. That's the Festival release. Talisker 18 is good. I just don't think it's something you got to reach for cost-wise. I mean, I don't think you need to, if you're looking to spend $175 on an 18-year-old whiskey, I don't think you need to spend it on that one. If you find it at a cheaper price, which I've seen it still for around $135. Worth grabbing. So I got to make a choice. 3.25, 3.5. I think I'm 3.5 on this. I'm going to be a little more bullish. It's a low 3.5, but I'm in the 3.5 range on this Talisker Distillers edition. Results may vary with batches, but I think this is doing for me. This is bringing a bold flavored element to Talisker, which I think is really working for me. I like this, man. And it's been fun to revisit a distillery that, quite frankly, I will never really disparage any distilleries since Dalmore and some others. Most of them I don't have negative opinions of. It's nice to revisit something that, you're from a place that you're not a huge fan of and be pleasantly surprised at. Is this going to make me go buy Taliskers again? No, I'll never own another bottle of Talisker 10. It's just not my jam. But I really enjoyed this Distillers Edition, and it was fun to be able to share my thoughts here with you guys on this. This is a good dram. You want a big fruit-forward, kind of older bourbon-infused whiskey, some pop and some punch from the Talisker. This Distillers Edition should not be overlooked. I think y'all, if you're into that profile, you might like this. Those of you who are huge fans of the Talisker 10, maybe not. Maybe find that this drowns out too much of that classic profile. For me, this is perfect. Talisker Distillers Edition. I can see having a few of these. I can see this being a bottle I have around the house. It's a lot, y'all. Yeah. Dig it. Okay. I have a sample that I'm going to get into, but I'm going to finish up this second dram. We're in no rush to leave anyone here, y'all. We got 12 folks in. What's up, y'all? Quieter night tonight? It's all good. Y'all didn't want to hear me talk shit about Talisker, I suppose. I don't care. The important people are here. We'll see. Ooh. That sounds good. Oh, man. Peter White. $10 super chat, man. Thank you so much. Man, you guys are the best. I appreciate it a lot, y'all. And I should be in full transparency. The next thing that I'm going to be putting some of this, your generosity towards, I'm considering doing some more upgrades just for presentation sake. I'm thinking about either upgrading the camera to be even more HD, even though I know this one's doing okay. But I'm also thinking about getting a microphone so that the audio is a little bit more clear. I know sometimes we've ran into some issues on that. So y'all are really helping me kind of like have the opportunity to do that, and I hope it makes the show more enjoyable. I'll definitely let folks know when that happens. But I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Peter White. Raise a glass to you, man. Slanch. And that's a wonderful way to put it. Really want to if you like sherry, this is good. I mean, like I said, I was hedging between 3.25 and 3.5, and for me, 3 is average. So on a 100-point scale, 3 is like an 80. The more I drink it, the more I like it. I could have more than one dram of it and really enjoy the complexity. This is a really nice whiskey. It's a nice whiskey. I'm happy to be proven wrong, I guess. Well, I did have one many years ago, and I thought it was pretty good. But yeah. Here's the thing. Well, this is good. The thing to remember about the Distillers Editions is they are literally just the core of core releases from these distilleries with a finish. For that price, you can probably still get a Lagavulin Distillers Edition, which is a 16-year-old Lagavulin with a PX finish. This is still just a 10-year-old Talisker. So, I don't know if I'd drop a hundo on it. But I know there are probably some places you can find it to get it shipped to you that might be cheaper. If I find any of those places, I will let you know. Talisker 10 was the whiskey that was used in the spy bottle in Charlie Wilson's book. Wasn't James Bond also a Talisker 10? Wasn't there a Talisker 10 thing with James Bond? Robert Louis Stevenson called it the King o' Drinks. It's debatable. All right. some crosstalk. Again, appreciate y'all. Yeah, I'm going to sit at 3.5 on this, which I think is a little bold. I try not to be superfluous with scores. I don't want to go too high and make it ridiculous, but I do feel like there's enough going here to bump it to that 3.5. Dig it. I see you, Talisker, or Diageo. I don't know if I see Talisker, but yeah, not bad stuff. Okay, we're going to switch gears. We got 15 folks in, or 13 folks, I should say, which is great. I want to give shout outs again. Daniel H., Peter White. Deeply appreciate you guys with the super chats. I have a sample from one of the whiskey distilleries that was brought up by people here who, we were talking about distilleries that are just kind of making you a little like exhausted. What I have here today is a sample provided by our good friend over there in British Columbia, Canada, the Foodquig. This is a Highland Park 8 years old, 43% from Gordon MacPhail's MacPhail collection. So we have a young, sprightly Highland Park. I have never had this. I don't think I've had a Highland Park other than NAS with this young of an age statement on it before. Oh, man. Put that one on your wall. That's a good one. It's true. I know that he liked his martini. I mean, I know he ordered the worst martini ever. Martini. First of all, he got shaken, which is a bad idea. You want to stir it. Why do you want to dilute your martini? Secondly, he got vodka instead of gin. I refuse to accept that a vodka martini exists. It seems crazy to me. Maybe I'm wrong. Do you know Craig did Macallan 12 on the beach in Skyfall and a Macallan 40? Okay, so Peter White's not wrong. Interesting. All right. Okay, so here we go. This is from Foodquig. It is an 8-year-old Macallan, bottled at 43% ABV. It's an independent bottling from Gordon and MacPhail. So just for those who are watching at home, if you've ever had the Highland Park 10 Viking Scars or the Highland Park 12 Viking Honor, you will notice as I lift this glass up, a huge difference between what this one looks like and those. And this ain't just the years. Look at the color on that. It looks like an Ardbeg 10. This is what a natural colored Highland Park looks like. JK 135. What's up? How are you? Tasty Tuesday. Back at you, man. Great to see you. Thank you for stopping on in. Good to have you here. We are just moving on to a sample from Gordon and MacPhail. I'm going to look this up really quick. Let's see what deets we can find on it. Highland Park 8, Gordon and MacPhail. Okay. So the tail of the tape on this whiskey. I'm expecting this to be one of the more punchy Highland Parks that I've ever had. 8 years old. I'm guessing this is a sherry bourbon split. I don't know. Let's see what we got here. We'll check out Mead Mule, who is rad. I think, yeah, I mean, I'm assuming this is ex-bourbon ex-sherry, but boy, does that just look like a bourbon cast to me. Yeah, you're right, James. That looks like a bourbon cast to me. This is around a $45 bottle. 8-year-old independent bottled Highland Park. Here we go on the nose. I mean, this is going to be getting into the most raw distillate of Highland Park I've probably ever smelled before. Hey, it's our beer friend, Rod J. Beer Ventures. What's up, brother? Good to see you, man. If you are a beer fan of any type, take a second, shoot a subscription over at Rod J. Beer Ventures. He's got a great show. He does a Thursday night live stream. The man knows his beer You'll learn a lot, and it's a great fun chat. So show some love to Rod if you are into such things. So this Highland Park, speaking of beer, this is a very beer-like nose. And what I mean by that is that kind of raw, yeasty, smell you get when you walk into a microbrewery. I'm getting a lot of that here in the form of malted barley. Just a ton of barley on this. Lemon, apples, maybe some spice, clove, cinnamon, something like that. Strange one. Some melon too. This is in the sweet spicy range, but much more on the sweet and raw, kind of just very raw distillate. Here we go. 8-year-old Highland Park Gordon MacPhail Slanchava. Happy Tuesday, y'all. Hang on. I'm not really sure what to say about this. This has a note in it that I don't think I've ever picked up in a whiskey before. Lychee. There's a lychee thing going on here. Light vanilla, apple, a little bit of cinnamon, pear, melon, rounded kind of fruits. It punches pretty heavy. Despite being 8 years old, there's a good kind of vanilla, slightly caramel bourbony note on the back of the development. Finish has a slight sour lime. It's still a little bit creamy with the vanilla, medium finish. I don't know. It's not bad. It's not great either. I think the thing you're really getting a lot out of this is it's just very youthful. Let me try some water. Has anybody had this one before, by the way? This is from that old MacPhail's collection, Highland Park. Or has anybody had a Highland Park independent bottling sub 10 years? This is a strange one. Yeah, lychee, man. Or like those tapioca balls in a tapioca bubble tea. I know that sounds strange. But it has some of that quality to it. Water's making it drier and spicier. Normally I've seen this bottle before, and I just, 43%, I was like, am I really going to buy an 8-year-old Highland Park for 43%? Like, what am I going to do with this whiskey? Basically, right? Like, what am I going to do with this? Am I going to sit around and see it and be like, I'm going to pour some of that. I'm going to really enjoy that. I'm not really sure this falls in that purview. This is like an interesting thing to taste at a bar. Like maybe you want to taste a youthful Highland Park, but also the other thing that's really holding back of this is the 43%. So I have a mealy kind of honeydew, lychee, tapioca taste. Apple. Ton of apple. Spice. It's competent. It's well put together. For $45 or $50, even though this has non-chill filtration and natural color, if you had put a bottle of Highland Park 12 in front of me, I would take that in a heartbeat over this, just because I think it has more complexity and it's more well-rounded. The peat isn't even that noticeableness. That heather peat, that signature Highland Park heather peat, not even that noticeable in here. It's almost as if this doesn't even really drink like a Highland Park. If you pour this for me blind, I wouldn't know it was Highland Park. I'm a 275 on this. This is a below average for me. Unless you really, I just can't see why I would buy a bottle. Interesting thing to try. But again, drink it at a bar. This isn't, this is a try before you buy for sure. No reason to spend even $45 on a whole bottle of this. It's the best I can do for you guys. Yeah. Competent, decent. Not horribly made, but let's. For the same price, you could get a Highland Park 12. And they don't make these anymore, anyways, as far as I know. It's really not bringing any Highland Park qualities to it. It drinks kind of like any generic kind of Highlands whiskey. Like if you were sipping on some type of generic Oban, or what were we just having before this? The Talisker. It's similar, like a generic Talisker, just like a Talisker Swarm. It just doesn't have any substantial differentiating qualities. It doesn't have that classic heathery sweet Highland Park note prominently enough, in my opinion. I can't go higher. I can't go higher than a 275 on this one. 8-year-old Highland Park, Gordon MacPhail. You can do without this one, but fun to give a little sample to. So thank you to Foodquig for that. Let me just throw some quick shout outs out again to Daniel H. and Peter White for the super chats. I appreciate you guys. That was very cool. Happy Tuesday back at you, Rod. Great to see you again. Beer fans, shoot Rob a sub. You would know when the old particulars are landing at K&L. I wish. Sadly, I can't get anything from K&L here. I've been laughing at this on the show for 6 months. New York City's in the house. Jack the Pickletown. Yeah, man. It's just, I would be more interested in this at a cast strength. At least it would have something potentially interesting. This is not that interesting. It's kind of blah. Good to see you, Jack. Thanks for stopping through. No Highland Park independent bottlings under 10 years. I think the youngest I've tried is 13. Okay, makes sense. That's it. Do Peter White. It is a good price. Yeah, I agree with you. Gary out in Frisco. I was finally able to get that 10-year-old cast-ring signature Edudar that Alan the Whiskey Firm was talking about. Oh, what did you think? I do too. Texas, Juniper Lane. Hello, how are you? Good to see you. Always great to have Ms. Juniper Lane in the house. Great to have you hanging out. Hope your sample arrived by now and safely from the Patreon raffle. Again, appreciate the support. Alpha Crown's in the house. What's up? Nice to see you. Cool, y'all. All right. Got some good crosstalk going on, too. Okay. So we got 16 folks in. I am going to finish this. So just to do a quick wrap up before we move on to something a little more, I don't know, interesting. What do you think, Winston? Winston's looking at the card just, he turns his back on me. Okay. The Talisker Distillers edition, I think, is a safe 3.5. This 8-year-old Highland Park Gordon MacPhail, I don't know. 2.75. It's not that great. Not with your money. Appreciate the sample. It's fun to taste. Okay. The palate has been palate has been challenged a little bit tonight, but I think we need to do something else. And, you know, I kind of have a taste for that Glenallachie, or for a Glenallachie after this Talisker. And the one that I'm spotting out is one that I think is going to land similar. So we're going to do a little single cast Glenallachie out of nowhere. This is what we're going to be looking at. This is non-chill natural color. They say it right on the box. Okay? It's right there. So they're not lying. This is an Oloroso Puncheon. It is a 14-year-old Talisker or Glenallachie. It is bottled at 61%. It is part of the Trilogy series. This is part 2. Bada bing, bada boom. Look at the color of that bad boy. Did I say this was natural color? Yeah. Well, they say it on the bottle too. So God bless you, Glenallachie. This is going to be a barn burner, a belter of a whiskey. Billy Walker's passionate about wood management. 30,000 casks maturing across their 16 warehouses. Hand selects blah, 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 blah. Leave no stone unturned, says him. So, yeah, this is a Billy Walker selected single cask Glenallachie. Let's see if we can wake up Winston the Whiskey Cat with that. Oh, he's going in. No? All right. I tried. Still haven't found a dram that this cat will enjoy. And he says he's a whiskey cat. What can you do? Okay, here we go. The reason I'm choosing this one is really because I think the overpowering kind of sherry cask, in this case, Amoroso cask influence of the Talisker Distillers edition, really the mouth coating nature of it, how intense it was, it's making me think I need something intense and sherry. And I probably haven't had a dram of this one in around 6 months. So this is the 2006 14-year-old single cask Oloroso Puncheon, one of 677 bottles. Glenallachie, 14 years old. JK135, what up? Yo, I have 2 of those casks, 12 and a 15, and holy shipped to good name. Yeah. Def. Hart Brothers, says Gary K. I don't have anything from Hart Brothers, unfortunately. Malt Muser, any unpeated Bordeaux finished bottles you have? Yes. Maybe we can do it next. Hang on. I have the Bunahaven Moina. That's peated. Bordeaux. Yeah, I have a... No, the Ben Romick is going to be somewhat peated too. I actually don't think so, man. If I do, it's not coming to mind. I'm sorry. I'm just interested here with this one for a couple reasons. Number one, it's not going to have the peat level or the spiciness of that Talisker, but look at the color of that. And that's a natural color. This is just a beautiful whiskey. So as we hit the top of the hour, I want to let folks know the whiskey review dropping this Friday on the tube. Aaron 10 versus Aaron 10. Old bottling versus new bottling. That was a lot of fun to do. Check it out. Patreon's your exclusive Patreon review. Springbank Local Barley 9 years old is in your inbox now. If folks are interested in getting those, sign up on Patreon at whatever level is comfortable for you. It helps support the show, and you do get additional content like I just mentioned. Here we go. Sherry Bomb Glenallachie, 61%. There's just no way this is going to be drinkable. JK135, you have a couple of these. Are they all cast strength? I mean, I'm assuming it's single cast. They are. Maybe like ABV 61% type stuff. Whew. Wow, that's intense. But not in an alcohol way. It's just intense. A lot of sherry, like older sherry notes, dried fruit, which means a lot of oxidization in the cask. Yeah. Okay, so we're talking about the same stuff here then. I'm excited. I'm about to try that out. A lot of berries, oak, fresh cut wood. A lot of nice stuff happening on the nose here. Let's give it a try. All right, here we go. Wow. Surprisingly, it is a little bit palatable. Let's say you at 61%. I'm definitely going to put water on this. Peter White, using the last time, decanted PCA. Oh, nice. Nice, man. The Bordeaux. I'd love to try that. This whiskey, it's not as rich as you'd want it to be, even at 14 years. I mean, 14 years isn't incredibly old. I'd like a little bit more richness here. They use sherry puncheons, so it's not like they're, I just don't, I mean, I'm assuming they're first fill. A lot of drier notes in this. This whiskey's on the drier side. Drier spice, dark red fruits. Very delicious, tasty stuff. Not going to complain about that in any respect. It's just, it's not, it's not a Glendronach 18 Allardyce, if that's even a fair comparison. It comes up a little short for me, but that is for what it is at single cask, at Oloroso, at Puncheons, 14 years old. It's a younger whiskey. It drinks a little younger than it is. Like if you told me this was a 12, I'd probably say, yeah, that makes sense. But water is going to give us a little bit more perspective. And I'm going to do a generous 8 drops of water on this because, Jesus Christ, it's 61%. Do you guys, I mean, when it comes to water, do you guys have a system when you put water on yours? Or you just kind of arbitrarily do what you're going to do and figure out what works for you? I'd love to hear what you have to say. I was just talking about how much I'm a fan of Gary's new purchase, the Caster Gauge Drawer. I'm currently drinking the Bordeaux finished Taninik. Okay. I will say pretty much most single cask Glenallachie are re-rack finished with super active sherry cask. That makes sense. And the water, I'm assuming, is going to bring that to the forefront. This, it's funny because the nose on this is older than the way it actually lands in terms of its viscosity, in terms of its finish. Let's see what the nose does here with water. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Cask strength sherried whiskey, it is a gambit. There's a lot of subpar stuff out there. Glenfarclas 105 might be an example of that. Conversely, there's a lot of really good stuff out there. I'm thinking about some of the Abinet, definitely the Tamdu batch strength. I think is probably the best. So that older nature, this older dried fruit spiciness has given way to a bit more sweet, fresh fruit, which I'm really enjoying, and it's bringing a nice balance. It's kind of brought this to equilibrium. Strawberries. Christmas spices. clove, nutmeg, allspice. Quite nice. Mm. Mm. Always put water on your whiskey. Even if it doesn't end up being the best way you like it, at least do it once. Because I'll tell you right now, if this is bringing, with the addition of water, is a more rich, caramely mouthfeel, a longer development, a longer finish, a less dry finish, a more juicy finish. Everything has come into a more balanced approach here. Really, really good with water. There's hints of white chocolate showing up. There's a little bit of dark chocolate. All very characteristic of Oloroso cask. This is quite nice with some water. These were running on, I think I got this on secondary market. It's from a place called TindrumWhiskey.com. This was an exclusive for them. They're over in the UK, so James Morgan and other folks who can get stuff from the UK from them that'll ship. Take heed. Take a look. It's not that expensive. Isn't that like $120, $130 USD, which is a stupidly good price for a 61-year-old, 14-year-old whiskey these days. A nice sherry bomb. Not a ton of character in terms of, if you had a Glen Scotia, this is more like an Aberlour, just kind of like, not a lot of distillery character, but a very competent and pretty delicious whiskey. I'm in that 3.5 range on this. I would take it over the Talisker. Not by a lot, but I would. Contrary to a lot of our friends in the whiskey world, I am not a huge Glenallachie homer. I don't think they're the heir apparent to take over the space of the declining end quality Glendronach. I do think that their 10-year-old cask strength is the best thing they make. I don't find their 15 that interesting. Their 12 is fine. Their 18 is unremarkable. They have 1,000,001 different finished whiskeys in the style of Deanston and Talmotten and Glenmoray, where you can find a Glenallachie for any taste you have. But are they all good? I wouldn't know. I haven't even had half of them. But from what I have had, and I respect Billy Walker a lot, I just don't necessarily find Glenallachie all that interesting. It is a competent, quality-made product, so that rises above half of the Scotch whiskeys out there. But does it reach the level of some of the best Glendronachs? Is there a Glenallachie out there that reaches the level of a Glenallachie or a Glendronach Allardyce, 18 Allardyce in its prime, even a 15 or a 21 prime? I think the answer is no. Controversial statement, but I'm going to say it. Their 10-year-old cask strength is the best thing they make by far, but let's not kid ourselves. The integrity of their bottling doesn't mean they're making the best whiskey. I commend them for what they're making, and how they're doing it, I should say, but they have a ways to go to overtake Glendronach, in my opinion, as the next Glendronach, which is a heavily rich, deeply complex, fully satisfying sherry forward single malt. I don't think Glenallachie's there yet. That's just me. I'd be curious if anybody else agrees. Use a 2 brewers water drop or 2-3 drops when necessary. Okay. 2-3 drops when necessary. Makes sense. The 15 single cask Glenallachie is a sherry bomb whiskey society. I'll try to get some. Man, that would be amazing. Yeah. Malt.muser at gmail.com. Malt.muser at gmail.com. Would love to connect. I'm always happy to share some samples. I would reciprocate in kind. That would be a lot of fun. And I will profile it on the show. Yeah, let me know. Distracted by something else. Is the Glendalough? Yeah, Gary does have one of those Glendalochs. Went to a Scottish whiskey bar in Dallas, and they taught me how to taste using those. Use the system ever since. They told me 2 to 3 drops is really get used to regular. Yeah, I agree with that completely. And Jim Whiskey's the name is well known. There's 2 legends. Oh, okay. Yeah, sadly they won't ship to me. I had to get this on secondary market. I respect quality. Quality isn't always going to be your favorite whiskey, but your favorite whiskey is always going to be quality. Words of wisdom from our boy in East Texas, Daniel H. Excuse me. I completely agree. You're with me on the Glenalky thing? Yeah, man. I just don't look. I might even go one step further. And that is to say, as far as what I've had, even though they are chill filtering nowadays, and Glenalky is on the decline, GlenDronach is on the decline in terms of their quality of presentation, etc. Outside of the 10 cask strength, I have never been blown away by anything else by Glenalky that I've had. And I've had a decent amount. I've been blown away by 3 GlenDronach whiskeys, and I guarantee there'd be more if I could afford some of their single casks. And that is the 15 Revival, the 18 Allardyce, and the 21 Parliament. All core range. Overpriced now? Yes. But, look, I want somebody to gut check GlenDronach, because what's happened, they've sold out to Brown Forman. They've started chill filtering their whiskey. That's not where we want to see the whiskey industry going in general. It's a poor decision by any standard, in my opinion. I would pay $20 more for an unchill filtered GlenDronach than I would for a chill filtered GlenDronach. I hope they're watching. They're not. But if they were, I hope they heard that. I don't think I've had anything from Glenalky that's been even remotely as good or remarkable. And that's just my personal opinion. It doesn't have the presence. It doesn't have the uniqueness. And it doesn't have the viscosity as much as I want it to. But their 10 cask strength is great. I'll put it there. Yeah, good point. Gary says I agree. Yeah, Glenalky. Yeah. Oh, cheers. Yeah. If you want to support the show on Patreon, exclusive content, early access, all that, check it out. Thank you, Peter White. Or I'm sorry, Dana. Peter White. 12 is a steal. GlenDronach has jumped the shark. Their single cask are priced out. I agree. And their core range is great, but the age was more than the cities. Yes, I agree completely. That's all very true. I think those are important caveats. I have not. The Glenalky 12 is solid. I still think if you compare the 15 Glenalky, which is clearly it's Oloroso PX, it is designed to go head to head with the GlenDronach. I still think even the new GlenDronach is better. It's sad, but it's true. I do agree they've jumped the shark, and yeah, the single casks are way priced out. If you want to get one of any significance, you're looking at spending $900. It's insane. There's no way I would spend that much. But I won't buy GlenDronach on principle, just because I think they should be punished for what they're doing. Because look, if it was Johnny Walker and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna start chill filtering," I wouldn't care, because Johnny Walker's Johnny Walker. GlenDronach was a special distillery. GlenDronach had a thing going. They were under the radar anti-Macallan. They were the anti-Macallan, and they were doing things right for a long time, and they built a reputation only to, in many ways, stab people in the back with the decisions that they've made. So I won't buy it on principle, but I will say I've had it poured for me, and it's in many ways still a really good whiskey, and I'm not buying either of the 15s, the Glenalky or the GlenDronach, because I just don't personally think the Glenalky was that good. It was fine. I was probably more excited about it because I wanted to be, but I haven't bought another bottle. And just like this one that I'm drinking right here, it's fine. I think it's pretty good, actually. Probably one of the better Glenallachys I've had, but it's not blowing my mind. I've had 3 Glendronics that blow my mind. If that's what you're chasing, it is what it is. Wow. Yeah, there you go. Oh. Batch 5 is fucking awesome. Awesome stuff. It is what it is, Look, if you want, okay. For me, Bruichladdich is doing what Glenallachie wants to be doing. I think Bruichladdich is probably one of the gold standards when it comes to integrity bottlings, terroir, if you want to go that far. I wish they would put out a sherried Port Charlotte. I wish they would put out a little more sherried stuff. But I think they are a distillery that in the non-sherried world is doing what I want Glenallachie to be doing with the sherried whiskeys. I don't think Glenallachie is quite there yet. Their 10s definitely are. The rest of them, I could take or leave. So I have high hopes, but right now, no, I wouldn't. I am not hunting down the next Glenallachie 18-year-old. It's not going to do it. That said, you know what? I'm going to go back to the Talisker Distillers edition for just a wee pour, and then we will close up shop. Yeah. This is what it is, y'all. The thing is look, if you don't want to get into the weeds about, who's doing this, you don't need to know all this to enjoy Scotch. I mean, I think the most important thing about all of this is that you don't need to know all this to enjoy Scotch. What you need to know to enjoy Scotch is really what your palate reacts positively to. And from there, how to find quality expressions of that dynamic. And then step 3 is how to challenge that dynamic. That's it. Start with your lower end stuff. Buy more quality of the flavor profile you like, because Scotch is the Wild West. There's a lot of different flavor profiles. And then look for the more integrity versions of what you've identified as your core enjoyment. And from there, you can expand. That's, in my opinion, the way to approach this. So, again, we can get in the weeds about Glenallachie and Dendronic and chill filtration. For me, this is important stuff because I'd like to think I've done my apprenticeship. I've done the journey. As I always say, I learn more from y'all than you probably learn from me. But it provides the community. It provides the context. It gives you the opportunity to think about the whiskeys that you buy. It's got a lot of reciprocity, and I love it. But I got bold opinions about some things, and we all do. But at the core of all of this, follow your palate, man, and be okay drinking what you drink until you get to the point where it matters. Glenallachie, Glendronach fights aren't going to matter to you if you're just getting into Scotch. Enjoy everything that's out there. And from there, then you can give a shit about this. But I'll tell you right now, until then, it's a pointless fight. But for us whiskey nerds who probably think about things like Glendronach and Glenallachie, they probably live rent-free in our heads a little bit more than we would like to admit. I'm planting my flag in the position of I don't think Glenallachie's all that interesting so far. That's just me. That's just where I'm at. That's just where I'm at. I'm sorry if it pisses anybody off. I'm not slighting Billy Walker. I'm not slighting their quality. I'm not slighting anything. I just don't find it that interesting. I'm sorry. So it is what it is. Their 10 is awesome. Okay, let me catch up on the chat. Okay, that's where I was. New Glenturret releases are said to be like the old Macallans. Shit. Okay, so I got to buy that. In fact, you know what? Hang on a second. I might just have a Glenturret sample that I could pour for us tonight. No, I think I might have done it. Damn. Foodquig sent me one. Ah, rats. Wait. Nope. That's Glen Scotia. You want to talk about a whiskey that has character. Glen Scotia. Okay. So far, I haven't been a big fan of Glenallachie distillate. It's been fine, but now we're spending my money. Dude, Stephen Connor, Nashville, Tennessee, what's up? I kind of agree with you, man. It's being willed into existence as the heir apparent. We do need an heir apparent to Glendronach because Glendronach is, hurting our feelings as whiskey turns. Let's be real. We don't want to see what they're doing. But as Peter White and others were alluding to earlier, they're getting priced out on the single casks. It's not cheap to find the quality ones anymore. I still think even the not as great quality ones still have some of that Glendronach character that are rivaling any of the best things I've had from Glenallachie. I just don't. If you ask me to describe Glenallachie's distillate in 3 words, I couldn't do it. I could do Bruichladdich. I could do Laphroaig. I could do Ardbeg. I could even do Dalmore. I could definitely do Old Pulteney. Glenallachie? Craigellachie? Yes. Glenallachie? Glendronach? Definitely. So I think there's a lot of space for there's a lot of opportunity there. I think they can harness the vacuum that's being created by this. I'm just not ready to crown them as the heir apparent. I think some people might be more bullish on them than I am, but other than their 10 and their competent 12, I mean, point me to a Glenallachie that's like, wow, this is even anywhere in the same league as Allardyce or Revival or Parliament or whatever. I'm not sure it's there yet. Maybe we'll get there. Oh, yeah, I misspoke. Yeah, I said that there wasn't. I guess what I was trying to say, and that's a good point. What I was saying is like a Bruichladdich that's like fully sherried. Okay, like a fully sherried Bruichladdich. Not Bruichladdich tends to play a lot with bourbon cask. At least I think. Maybe I'm wrong on this. They don't have like the sherry bomb. What's Bruichladdich sherry bomb? Maybe I'm missing it. Maybe I'm totally missing the market, but I've generally not felt that they've had that. But I think they are a distillery that can do what Glenallachie's trying to do. Be the heir apparent. I don't know. I'm a lot above my skis. I'm a little ahead of my skis right now. Just going to be completely candid with you. New Glenallachie core range is pretty much the same color, 12 and 18 finished with super active sherry casks. Why should I pay for 18 just to get the 12? Alpha Crown, I mean, I've not had the 18, the new one, but yeah, that sounds right. Ben Nevis is what I'm looking out for now. Hey, well, Peter White, guess what? I'm going to have a Ben Nevis show coming soon. We're going to do 4 Ben Nevises in one night. I got a weird amount of Ben Nevis. I don't know how it happened. I've just collected a small society of Glen Nevis bottles. We're gonna have a Glen Nevis show coming soon. I may not be on live next week, but if it's not next week, maybe I'll do 2 weeks from now. I'll keep folks posted on that. I have a bunch of Ben Nevises. I think maybe that's the way to go. Maybe I should do the Ben Nevis show. So I do want to mention one thing before we go further. We're talking about Glenallachie. We're talking about Glendronach. You want to know who I think the best heir apparent so far is? And this was my whiskey of the year last year. It is this distillery, Tamdhu. I think Tamdhu can take the mantle of high-quality sherried whiskeys. And I think that they could probably do it better than even our friends at Glenallachie to this point. Batch strength number 5. This was my whiskey of Scotch whiskey of the year last year, 59.48%. It is a utterly incredible whiskey. I know there is a batch 6 out now. They are all sub $100 or right around that point. If you like a sherry whiskey with some character, I recommend you buy it immediately. I am on the hunt for batch 6 here in Chicago as we speak. This is chef's kiss. Because not only is it a sherry bomb, it has distillery characteristic to it. It has some provenance. It has some bourbon cask. Not bourbon cask, but like they're not like Aberlour, where it's just like full sherry. You're drinking a cask strength bottle of sherry. This tastes some of the character. It has some of that kind of vintage, antique distillery characteristics to it, which you'll pick up when you drink it. Just trust me. It's just a fantastic drink. There is now an 18-year-old Tamdhu out there. Don't sleep on this distillery. You think Glenallachie's the heir apparent? I'm not so sure. Tamdhu can be right there with him. And, oh, man, $20 super chat, audio, video stuff. Go ahead and start the fun. Hey, man. Dude. Appreciate you. Yeah, as I mentioned, and that's your second super chat. Daniel, my brother. I'm raising this glass of the Tamdhu Batch 5 to you. Yeah, I'm considering getting a microphone and maybe even upgrading the cameras, as I was mentioning earlier. I super appreciate it, man. Thank you. All right. All right, let's do it. I'm TBD on next week because I might have something else I got to do. But if not, I'll be back on the 24th. We'll do the Ben Nevis show. I'll commit to y'all now. I have an Adelphi Ben Nevis. I have a Chicago single cask exclusive House of Glunt's Ben Nevis. I have a 21-year-old Ben Nevis. We'll do that. Let's do it. Connor, let's get the 25. Ooh. That's awesome, man. That sounds like a fantastic, fantastic whiskey. Rad. Juniper Lane. I raise a glass to you, man. Juniper in Texas is coming through with the super chats. I got deep appreciation. Thank you so very much. I will definitely update you all when I'm able to put all of it together. Like I said, I try to keep things authentic and scrappy. I don't want to have a high production show with lots of bells and whistles, but I do want to make sure you guys are getting the quality that you want and deserve and are willing to donate for. So I'll keep you guys posted as I'm continuing my research on this stuff. But thank you so very much, Juniper. Appreciate you. You are a gem, and I hope you enjoyed that sample you won in the Patreon raffle. Yeah, microphone is kind of one of the things I need. All right, some folks talking crosstalk. Good to see. Juniper is angel on the shoulder. She's a saint. I'm so glad that I was so excited when she won the whiskey raffle or third place in the whiskey raffle, because I was like, oh man, I was thinking about just pro bono sending you some of those samples. You're rad. I appreciate you. And all of you for that matter. Peter White. Daniel H., thank you guys so much for the super chats. Speaking of Glenturret, I know Glenturret is the next thing, man. I gotta look into some Glenturret. Oh man, Daniel, you're the man, dude. Jesus, brother, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. I will put it towards good use. Yeah, I will keep folks updated on how that all goes. Lecheg is great. In fact, I'm going to nightcap with Lecheg because of what Gary mentioned. If y'all can give me just a minute, I got to get a water refill. We're at that 125 mark. You know, I'm only human. So let me go get a quick water refill, and then we're going to do a Lecheg to close out the night. Be right back. Y'all got me thinking a little bit. You know, thanks to the generosity of many of y'all, a couple months back, I did get that Redbreast 27. Is tonight the night that we should just do the Redbreast 27? Or should we wait? Should we make it a dedicated show? I've had a couple drams. Should we do the Redbreast 27? Should we uncork the Redbreast 27 tonight? The most expensive bottle I've ever had. The most probably anticipated bottle that I've ever thought about buying. Throw a thumbs up or a yes in the chat if we should do it tonight, or if not, we can dedicate a show to it. I'm a little tempted. Folks are being generous, and I appreciate all your generosity. I want to reciprocate, and maybe we should do the Redbreast 25 or 27 tonight. Maybe we should just go for it. I mean, if these super chats keep coming in the way they are, it's going to be hard for me not to. I do agree with Lecheg is great, but I got other ideas in my head now. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Dude, Tejas, man. Tejas ain't playing. All right. Yes, they are. Absolutely. Oh man, I'm far behind in the. I am far behind in the chat. But JK135, dude, you're rad, man. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. $19.99, $20 in from Jake. Man, y'all are just, dude. Rob, what's up, man? Y'all are gonna make me cry on the freaking internet. What is this? Oh my god, you guys are the best, man. Thank you so much. I really, really deeply appreciate this. I hope you understand that. And we got 18 folks in, man, and we're still rolling. Whiskey Nose is in the house. What up? Yo, man, I think we're gonna have to do it. Yo, he says do it. Gary's got his open. Oh, shit. Dude, David's rolling with a 10. Yo, man, you're pushing me to the edge. I might have to do it. This might be the night. This might be the night we just do the I've been thinking about when I was going to do it, and I don't know if there's a good time. Maybe the good time is just now. Yo. Oh, God. I don't know, Juniper. Okay. I can't do the 12. I can do 12 CS, 12, and 27. I can do that. That is doable. Should we do a three-way comparison? Oh, snap, y'all. I don't know. Okay. Should we do it? Maybe we got to do it. Maybe we got to do it. I don't know. Let me just. I gotta. I don't know. That's a lot. That's a lot. Holy shit. Dude, Whiskey knows. What's up, man? Oh, man. Y'all are trouble, dude. What is this? All right. You got to understand, the Redbreast 27 is the most expensive bottle I've ever bought. Like, by a long shot. And the reason that I bought it, I mean, in part is because I think Redbreast is just freaking amazing. But, like, the ability, like, it's one of the few distilleries that I would be willing to throw down that kind of money for a product because I've never been disappointed by them. Like, there's not that many, and I'd love to hear in the chat how many distilleries y'all would feel that way about. Would you throw down $500 for a whiskey from Dalmore? Would you throw it down for Glenallachie? Would you throw it down for, I don't know, whomever? Like, there's not that many distilleries that I'm willing to, like, on, you know, relatively limited income, throw down that kind of money for. Redbreast is one of them. Bruichladdich is another. I mean, not Ardbeg, maybe not even Laphroaig. Maybe Lagavulin. I mean, let me know in the chat. What distilleries would you throw down for a special bottle, $500 for? And I'm leaning towards doing this. I'm leaning towards doing this and making it tonight. And I think Juniper's on the right track here. We do a three-way comparison because, you know, that's the only way to really roll this. Yeah, I love you guys. Dude, yo. All right. Yeah, we're doing it. We're doing it. We'll do it. Yo, man, Stephen Connor. Dude, y'all are okay. She's gonna get the sample pack for sure. She's gonna be lost. All right, y'all. Okay. I just want to, dude, y'all are way too kind. I appreciate each and every one of you, man. Okay, we're gonna do this. Second choice of the frag. He's gonna pour one too. Okay. All right. I have to go get 3 clean Glencairns. Just give me a second. I will be right back. All right, y'all. 1, 2, 3. Let me get the appropriate bottles for this. Okay. Let me make sure this one is open. No. Hang on just a second. Okay. So, Redbreast 21. You know what? Yeah. Redbreast 21, Redbreast 27. And then I think I have a Redbreast 12 cask strength. Yeah. We'll just open this one. Oh shit. Okay, y'all. This is some next level stuff right here. So I got 3 fresh Glencairns. 1, 2, 3. We're gonna do this. We got enough water? Yes. Okay. So the way that we're going to approach this is, I think, actually, you know what? Vote in the chat. Do I go by ABV, or do I go age? I think we go ABV, in which case 12 cask strength would be a last. Because, and I will mention, 12 cask strength was my whiskey of the year back in like 2018. So we're really looking at a whiskey that's, I think, just uncompromisingly amazing. The 15 or the 21, here it is. This is sherry and bourbon, I believe. This one is 46%. Oh my God. So here we go, the 21. And we're going to do decent drams here too. I'm not even going to play. And finally, weighing in at a balmy significant 128 pounds from the island of Ireland, coming in at 53.5% ABV. It is the Redbreast 27. Holy crap. Here we go. So it's got a nice little wood thing here. Look at that bottle. Holy shit. 53.5. This is batch number 2. It is port. Well, it doesn't say it on here, but you know what? Let me look. Let me just double check. My understanding is that the maturation on this is port and sherry. Redbreast 27. God, I can't believe we're actually doing this. Okay, we're gonna do it. Yep, Ruby Port. So here's what we're looking at: X bourbon, X sherry, and Ruby Port seasoned casks. Okay, it's happening. We're opening it. No turning back now. Thank you guys all for the super chats and the support. This is going to be fun. I just have to get this ridiculous stuff off the top. All right. Okay. We're almost there. Ruby at 27 Redbreast, y'all. Here we go. Real cork? Yes. Oh, man. Fuck. Okay. This is happening. All right, here we go. So, just to recap for folks who are just joining, this is a impromptu 3 Irish whiskey Redbreast throwdown between the Redbreast 27, the Redbreast 21, and the Redbreast 12 cask strength. I'm I did not expect to do this tonight, but here we are. So I'm going to put this Redbreast 27 back in its ostentatious, ridiculous case for the moment. And I think the way we approach this is going to be by ABV. I think we go 21, 27, 12 cask strength. And we really just kind of make our judgments from there. So just for the context sake, the 12 is around a $75 to $80 bottle, the 12 cask strength. The 21 is around $250. The Redbreast 27 is $500. So nearly like over double the price of the 21. I'm going to give everybody the tail of the tape before we dive into them. So let me just get it queued up. We're going to start with Redbreast 21. Here we go. The Redbreast 21. I'm going to use Whiskey Base as our point of analysis because they tell no lies. Here we go. Redbreast 21 is 46% ABV. It is Oloroso Sherry Cask and Bourbon Barrel. Okay. So just as a point of comparison between the three, I'm going to try to do this properly. No, I can't do it properly. Okay. So this is the Redbreast 21. This is the Redbreast 12 cask. You can see the difference. This is the 21. This is the 12. This is the 21, and this is the 27. Much redder, which is going to show the port. So we're going to start with the 21. Again, these are around $250. This is one of the best whiskeys I've ever had. I'm just going to mention it now. I very rarely drink this, and so we're doing it tonight. Again, appreciate everybody, Stephen Connor, Juniper Lane, Daniel H., David Hong, JK135, Peter White. Thank you all for the super chats. Y'all are amazing. It's inspiring, and I hope you guys enjoy this. So here we go. Redbreast, 21 years old on the nose. It's just amazing. So the thing about Redbreast pot still whiskey is that it has malted barley and unmalted barley. The unmalted barley is because the British used to tax malted barley, so the Irish said, we're going to use unmalted barley in some of our whiskey to pay less taxes. It was an act of rebellion, and it shows well here. Just fruit, berries, slight spices. There's just so much delicious, fragrant, sweet fruit notes in this. But the thing that is most amazing is that it retains that unmalted barley, which is it comes off, the only way is like green, fresh, like it's sweet, but it's like a fresh crop. I mean, it really showcases itself in a spicy and kind of sweet way. It's just wonderful. Okay. Nose on the 27. Fucking 27-year-old Redbreast. Here we go. On the nose. Ooh. So everything I said about the 21 is right, but this has a completely different dimension. And that dimension comes in the form of ruby port. Oh, Whiskey Nose. Shout out to you as well. And Rob. Thank you guys. I apologize for not catching that. This has a deeper fruit note. It's cherry. It's rhubarb. Wow. Oh my God. And there's more spice. The nose on this is exquisite. Wow, there's like Very herbal, herbaceous nose. So much complexity. I mean, it's already blowing my mind over the 21, which is strange. Okay. Let me go to the 12 cast strength. The classic. Unmalted and malted barley, spice, shortbread cookie, sweet, fresh fruit on the red fruit side, plus pear, plus apple. Nice spice. Just wonderful, wonderful stuff. Still one of my favorite whiskeys, but definitely a less complex nose in comparison to the other two. Here we go. All right. First sip neat, Redbreast 21. Just an absolute master's class in quality spirit. Rich mouth coating all the way through while it's changing its flavor development. You have nice rich spices. You have different types of fruit, including blackberries, raspberries, blueberry. And as all of those notes are popping, you still just have this nice caramely, spicy, unmalted barley and malted barley mixture walking you all the way through. Just really, really fantastic. An absolute masterclass in whiskey. To be sipped in good company, for sure. Wow. Finish is still going. This is a 4.5 out of 5 whiskey for me without hesitation at all. Even at that $225, $250 price point. It's just awesome. For Irish whiskey, you're hard pressed to find better. But we're going to try right now. Again, this was the 21. This is the 27. So the 27 coming in a little bit more of a red hue quality, which I'm assuming is coming from that ruby cask. Here we go. Oh, man. The nose is just amazing. Everything is soft and profound at the same time. Vanilla, almond, dark red fruit. Can't believe I'm about to do this. This is the most expensive bottle of whiskey I've ever purchased and probably ever will. We'll see. Redbreast 27, Slancheva. Thank you guys all for hanging out. Here we go. Oh my God. I'm having a malt moment, and I'm really sorry to delay feedback. There's been a few whiskeys in my life that have like stunned me in a way that made me really just slow down time. Ardbeg Ugadal was the first one. On New Year's Eve, 2017, at a backyard bonfire birthday party in Washington, D.C. What I can say right now is Redbreast 27 is on a live stream in May of 2022. Just unbelievable. When I said the 21-year-old is mouth coating, it's what I thought mouth coating was. This 27 is on a completely different level. it's almost like you're chewing on fruitcake. You're chewing on like coffee cake. It's so rich. It's almost moist is how rich it is. I have to go in for another sip.
Get the fuck out of here with this.
God, this is so good. Oh man. The mouthfeel on this alone is literally the most. It's so soft and elegant and refined, but also rich and viscous that it lands in such a harmonious, velvety way that it's hard to even really describe. It is exponentially more rich and intense than the 21, which is, I can't even believe I'm saying that. I mean, that's like not a sentence I thought I would ever say. Dark chocolate, sharp red fruits, caramel, brown sugar, cherry cola. There's just so much happening here. Yeah, that's in the top 3 whiskey experience I think I've ever had, and I'm not even gonna lie. I wouldn't bullshit y'all. Like, this is, and this is batch 2. I've heard batch 1 is like, whatever, but like, this is, again, if you like Irish whiskey, you like unmalted barley, this is, it's not as complex as like a Bruichladdich Black Art, which you could probably get for around the same price. But I'll tell you right now, for an Irish whiskey, this is unbelievable. It's transcendent. It's the texture and mouthfeel alone puts this as a 5 out of 5 whiskey for me. And that's not even talking about the flavor, which is equal in complexity to the 21. I don't think this is an exponentially more complex whiskey than the 21, but what I'm noticing between the two is just the craft of the mouthfeel, even at 5%, 6%, or what is it, 7% more ABV. It's I've never would have thought I'd look at a Redbreast 21 and be like, after tasting that, this is way beyond. Even at $500, which is the unfortunate reality of the price for this stretches my ability to judge based on money. I think there was somebody else who was drinking this tonight who I wonder if they agree with me. I remember who it was. I think it was Gary. I have to hear it. We'll have to wait and see what Gary says, but I wonder if Gary agrees with me. This is, I don't think that the complexity of the flavor is that much more refined, even with the ruby port, as the 21. But I think it's right there with the 21, maybe a little bit more. The mouthfeel alone, though, is one of the best whiskeys I've ever had, if not the best. This is up there with Bruichladdich Black Art 4.1 when it comes to mouthfeel. This is up there with Glengoyne 25 easily. Okay. Moving on, we're going to move on to, again, one of my favorite whiskeys of all time. This is the 12-year-old cask strength Redbreast 12. This was my first ever whiskey of the year. It is a sherry and bourbon cask whiskey. Let me just make sure I give you guys the right to it. This much, much cheaper. This is a, I guess what I want to say, this is a less than $100. I think this is around $80. One of the best whiskeys, I think, bar none, on the planet. And I'm not even embellishing about that. This is just an absolute killer whiskey. Is it going to stand up to the 12? I can't imagine so, but we're going to try it because it's been a minute. I just opened this bottle. I want to just give you all the tail of the tape on this batch. Yeah, bourbon and sherry cask, 12 years old, 57.6% ABV. Woo wee! Here we go. Again, my first whiskey of the year, way back. We're talking 2018. The Redbreast 12 cask strength. Here we go. Fresh. All those elements are there. The sweet fruit, the freshness of the barley, the unmalted barley, the spice. It is just so quintessentially Irish. It is probably the best value buy Irish whiskey you can get. Outside maybe a Napo Castle 14, but I still think Redbreast 12 cask strength is just, what a whiskey. Sweet strawberry. Fresh fruits. All over the place. It's a bit intense. Boy, oranges. Here we go. It's wonderful. Huge mouthfeel. You do get a bit, the alcohol is a little bit more palatable here, but look, this whiskey is no slouch at 12 years old in cask strength. No slouch at all. There's a nuttiness. There's a caramel note. Oh, man. It's so good. But I can tell you right now, there's a note, like, you can tell this is younger. You can just tell it's younger. Is it, the real question, which we're going to get to in a few minutes, is like, is the price difference really worth it here? Which we'll talk about it in a second. Okay, after neat sips, I'm going to be honest with y'all. The 27 is the clear winner. The 21 and the 12 are 12 cask strength are neck and neck in terms of what I think are like worth it. The 27 more, or the 21 more complexity. The 12 more intensity in a really good way. Again, price rise $500 for the 27, $250 maybe for the cask strength, or I'm sorry, the 21, and then about $85 for the 12 cask strength. The real difference that I'm picking up here is in the finishes. It's in the mouthfeel and the finishes, and I really think the 27, it's just no contest. The 21 holds its own. Fuck. We got 18 or 16 folks. Y'all, I did not expect to be doing this, but I'm glad y'all are tuned in for it because this is a really fun experience. And thank you to everybody with the super chats tonight. Y'all are just amazing. I put every penny of that towards program, whether it's finding whiskeys people request, whether it's getting upgraded equipment like the camera that we got a while back. I'm looking at upgrading that again. Y'all are making this happen. So thank you so much for everybody who's chipped in so far and pushed for this Redbreast impromptu tasting. This is amazing. 27 is the best for sure. The 12 and the 21 are a little bit closer than I expected. I think I would probably get the 12 over the 21 if I was spending money again on choosing one or the other, just because I think the 12 cask strength, I want to be clear, the 12 cask strength, not the regular 12. The 12 cask strength is just such a beautiful expression of Irish whiskey. But that said, we're going to go in with water. And we are going to start with the 21 because I think the 21 is the one we need to hold to the most scrutiny. I'm going to put 4 drops of water here on the Redbreast 21. Oh, I'm sorry, 27. Oh my God. It's so rounded. Everything is so rounded. There's nothing punching you in the face. It's really well, nice and rounded. Raw vanilla, confectionery sugar, cordial cherries. Fuck. It makes it more powdered sugar vanilla like. Here we go. Oh man. I don't know what to say. There's a little bit of there's a little bit of like a slightly sour tart red fruit. Palate flavor wise, this is in the this is not it. There's some sweetness. This is more savory sour. There's some tropical fruit. There's some milk, chocolate. Just it's like you are eating a piece of Godiva chocolate, or you have a piece of that in your mouth, or like a with those Lind or whatever those like. The only thing that could make somebody regret buying this whiskey is if the flavor profile is not what they like. If you like a more kind of dark, heartier red fruit, something that's less on the sickly sweets or less on the super sweet side, more on the deep kind of tart, sweet paradigm, which is definitely coming from the port cask. I mean, that's what you say about this. Outside of that, this is a flawless expression at $500. It's really hard for me to say anything negative about it at all, other than there's probably better out somewhere. But this is a 5 out of 5 whiskey, period. End of story. 5 out of 5. That's between 99, 97, whatever. This is right there. It would be comical if I said less. And I would be really pissed if it didn't live up to that, but it does. Is it going to be my favorite whiskey of all time? Probably not. Just because it does have a distinct profile. Brookline Blackheart 4.1, so probably my favorite whiskey that I've had. But this is a 5 out of 5 whiskey, no doubt. Wow. Just wow. Definitely the best Irish whiskey I've had. The 53.5% goes down like velvet. It doesn't even pretend to punch you in the face at some type of cask level. It is so, the cask maturation is so perfectly done that its thickness and roundedness just edges all of that off. This is the winner, and I can tell you that right now. Now, the question really is between the 21 cast strength and the 20, or the 21 and the 12 cast strength. So we're going to go into the 21 here. I got it. Blackberry tropical fruit. Freaking masterclass. Again, the 21, you're looking at $250. The 12 cast strength, you're looking at like 80. I'm telling you, these are closer together than you would expect. Oh, man. Here we go, 21. Oh, man. It's so good. If you like the malted, unmalted barley effect of Irish whiskey, Redbreast is just the way to go. I'm sorry. I don't know if there's anywhere else to point folks to. This is just, that 21 is so good. Dark chocolate, milk chocolate, white chocolate, slight mint, significant but not overpowering red fruit notes, long finish, shortbread cookie, sourdough bread. This is just beyond. It's so good. It's so good. It doesn't have the level of viscosity that 27 did. In full disclosure, I didn't think anything had the. I didn't realize whiskey could have the level of viscosity that this fucking Redbreast 27 does. But this 21 is doing its best to meet it there. We're going to go to the 12 cast strength now. Fuck. Sharper, more intense, more of that unmalted barley in your face, quintessentially Irish. You will never be disappointed by any three of these whiskeys. But here we go. The real competition here is between, should I pay 300% more for a 21 over the 20 or over the 12 cast strength? Here we go. More intense. Oh, man. Okay. There's a little bit more alcohol bite to this. But I'm telling you, this is not that much lower than the 21. It's really not. I am surprisingly willing to go out on a limb and say, while the Redbreast 21 is a fantastic whiskey, expertly crafted as everything from fucking Redbreast is. Let's just be real. People who dog on Irish whiskey need to take note. There is a lot of really good Irish whiskey in Redbreast. I defy any whiskey fan to throw Redbreast into their blind tasting and tell me that doesn't come in the top half. Their whiskey is just so good. It's everything you love about whiskey. But I'm going to go out on a limb here, and we're talking about a $250 21-year-old Redbreast at 46% versus the 2020 Batch 1 Redbreast 12 cast strength. I am going to tell you, while the Redbreast 21 is more sophisticated, more subtle, it's not bringing a ton more to the forefront, at least right now for me, than the 12 cast strength. I am a 4.5 out of 5 on the 21, and I'm a 4.5 out of 5 on the 12 cast strength. I think this is a dealer's choice. If you are a seasoned Irish whiskey fan, and you want to go hard in the paint for the 21, you ain't gonna be disappointed. I wouldn't hate you, but I'm telling you, if you ain't had this 12 cast strength left yet, you need to. because it is unbelievably good and an incredible value. 5 out of 5 for the Redbreast 27. 4.5 out of 5, 12 cask strength, 21-year-old. Redbreast, the scores speak for themselves. I would tell you guys no lie. These are all worth your money. And no matter what you're willing to spend on them, you're going to get an incredible whiskey. I would buy the only Redbreast that I would not advise you to spend your money on is the somewhat rare USA small batch. I have also not had the PX, so I can't say on that. But I don't think the USA small batch is worth your money. They're going to charge you about double what you could get for a Redbreast soft cask strength. It ain't worth it. Not at all. The regular 12, fine. Spend the extra $30 on the 12 cask strength. It's the smartest thing you could do. These are fantastic whiskeys. Wow. Well, I didn't expect to do a Redbreast impromptu tasting tonight, but I'm glad that I did. I want to thank everybody again for chipping in with the incredible generosity in the super chat. Y'all are the best. I don't know what to do next with this 27-year-old. Like I'll definitely obviously have a dram again. I know I've been negligent on the chat. It's hard for me to concentrate on that and all these tastings here, but I just want to acknowledge that. This is, for me, I mean, this is a whiskey I can maybe open once a year. I don't even know what to do. But it's changed my perspective. I've only had a couple whiskey. I'd love to hear in the chat. And it doesn't matter what whiskey it is. Whiskeys that you've had that were, for lack of a better term, malt moments. For whiskeys that changed your perception of what whiskey could be. I'll tell you 3 of mine. And they're all in the Scotch realm. Number 1 is Oban 14. The first bottle of single malt Scotch I ever bought. I was house sitting at somebody's house, and I was more of a bourbon and tequila drinker. And for whatever reason, that Oban 14 had the punch with the sophistication. I was blown away by it. Another one was Ardbeg Uigeadail. The same story I told you. Ardbeg Uigeadail blew my doors off. I couldn't believe how delicious that was. I couldn't believe a whiskey could be that good. I was walking around a New Year's party after I'd had it, like trying to like talk to people. No, you want. There was like 2 guys who were like interested in what I was saying. The other 3 people I talked about were like, okay. I'm like, no, you gotta try this. It's that good. So I was that dude. It was that much of a euphoric moment. That whiskey was just so unbelievable to me that it just blew my mind. And to this day, I still I have a soft spot in my heart for it. I always have a bottle open for the most part. And I'm always on the search for older bottles because it still holds its own, but man, those older bottlings are something to behold. What a fantastic whiskey. So the third one, it's really hard not to just say this. I don't know if this is worth $500, y'all. I don't know if I would say that, but it's so good. The other one that I would say is the Bunnahabhain Moynia special release Bordeaux red wine finish 9-year. The marriage of peat and wine cask in that was, I think, probably the best expression of those 2 things together that I've had. And that includes Uigeadail. I know Uigeadail is sherry, but this was a more wine forward. But I think we all have these moments, right? This is what makes it happen. And increasingly, I find myself envious of the younger folks on the journey, the people who are just starting their malt journeys, because what I notice is that these moments become harder and harder to come by as you continue on the journey, or at least they become more expensive, as was the case tonight. But You know, I still try to find some of those younger whiskeys here and there that I can try and remind myself of like where I'm on my journey, but also I find some real gems. A review that'll be coming up the next month is the Ben Romick Contrast Peat Smoke Sherry Cask. That's a whiskey that's going to be, I guarantee, will be in my top 5 of the whiskey of the year. It could very well be number 1. This is a sub $70 whiskey. It is a what? 8-year-old, 9-year-old. There's still a lot of gems out there, but none of them are the Red Best 27. Okay, I can't top this tonight. So I do want to just again give shout outs to, and if I forget you, I am sorry. I want to give shout outs to Daniel H. Juniper Lane, Stephen Connor, Daniel Hong, Peter White. As you can see, my brain is, we're getting to that point. One second. I somehow am totally spacing out. Whiskey Nose. Major shout outs to y'all. Rob MC was one of them. And I believe JK135. Thank you guys so much for the super chats tonight. And if I missed yours, I'm very, very sorry. But I really, really appreciate it. Y'all got me to finally just do it, to commit to doing it, and I hope it was worth it. It was a lot of fun for me, and I could see this Red Breast 27 potentially showing up in a Patreon raffle at some point. If you are a member on Patreon, yes, you get exclusive whiskey reviews that nobody else does. Yes, you get early releases of my stuff, and also you're automatically in the thrice a year Patreon sample raffle where you get samples mailed to your house from me if you win in the top 3. So patreon.com/maltmuserwhiskey if you want to be part of that. Just subscribe at any level. I appreciate it. And with that, I gotta end it sometime, so I guess I gotta do it now. I gotta close up shop here, y'all. We are at the 2-hour and 18-minute mark almost. Woo-wee. What a Tuesday. Well, this is a good way because there's a good chance I won't be doing a Tuesday show next week. I have potentially a prior commitment, but I'll be back the next week, and we're going to be doing a Ben Nevis marathon. So again, I want to thank you all. Hit that thumbs up on your way out the door. Show up on Patreon if you want to be part of that. And leave a comment. Let me know what's up. Appreciate you all so very much. And don't forget to subscribe. This is Bernard's presentation of the Malt Muser Whiskey Reviews Tasty Tuesday Happy Hour. And one that I am not going to forget for some time. Sláinte, y'all. Be well.